out and now go to the low seed pool. So each of these 4 high seed teams will be joined by 4 of the low seed teams in their group. Okay, let's put these into the lottery wheel. And then it's actually, why did you make the decision to have only 2 groups? You could have had 4 in the US.
Well, as you know, the continental finals in North America already happen in November. And with a system like we have it with the ESL Pro Series, for example, in Germany, where everyone is playing each other once, that would take too much time. Therefore, we decided to make it a little shorter and a little quicker, and just to have 2 groups of 8.
Okay, then let's go to the low seed teams and let's see who qualifies for each group.
So starting again with Group A.
We do have another one to be determined. 3 of those are in here, so you shouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of question marks on these. I think it's really hard to predict who is going to win each group, but I think it's going to be very interesting, as we've not seen, like you said, a lot of competition in the US. So the winners of each group, we have Team Guardians in Group B.
Right. Yeah, you can pretty much say that all the top US teams are actually in the competition, even though we still don't know the last 3 teams, but it's very likely that we really have all the top teams on board. The only exception might be Complexity, but as I already said in the last show, unfortunately they were not allowed to participate from the CGS, so there's nothing we can do about that.
And the next team, once again, we do not know which team it is. So Group A is still pretty much unclear here. We have 2 teams yet to be determined.
Right.
And let's go on to the next team. Group B with team number 6. Tora.
That's a pretty interesting name.
It is.
So they're joining Devastation, Paragon of Virtue, and Mob Gaming, obviously, and an unknown team that is still to be determined.
So we have Sway Gaming from Canada,
in
another
Group
Canadian
A.
team. How many Canadian teams do we have?
We have 4 Canadian teams in total at the moment.
So that's a lot, I'd say. We could also have teams from Mexico, I guess, from North America, or weren't they allowed? I think it was only the US and Canada.
It was for Canadians and US Americans only.
So just as we're talking about Canada, no pressure. Next Canadian team joins the club.
They're going into Group B. So actually we managed to split the Canadian teams evenly into the 2 groups. So we have Devastation and no pressure in Group B from Canada.
Let's go to the next team. That is Mug and Mouse. Interesting to have them in the low seed pool. I think they're one of those that you could also put in the high seed pool.
Well, I think they have a pretty good name, but they've been struggling a little with their lineup recently, and that's why they're not in the high seed pool.
So it's now the last team, I think.
Right.
And then
it should be Green Barretts from North America. Or from the US.
Alright, there we are. Zetsumu. Interesting name. So we have all the teams. If I'm a North American CS fan, when can I start watching American Counter-Strike?
Well, of course you can still watch the qualifier that is still going on. And the main round is kicking off in about 2 to 3 weeks. So then we'll have 1 match every week of the finest and highest Counter-Strike 1.6 in North America.
Can you also predict how many American teams do you think will turn up at the global challenges in America?
Well, I think for the Los Angeles event at eFall, there's going to be lots of American teams, also for the reason that there's also the US WCG qualifier at the same time. So we already made an arrangement with our colleagues from the WCG in US to make sure that teams can participate in both tournaments if they like to. But also we have received quite a lot of international applications so far from all the top teams that you know, and therefore I think I would say probably 4 to 6 teams are realistic from North America at the global challenges in Los Angeles and Montreal.
Would you give a team preference over a team from Europe, for example, just Because
Depends
it's
on
an
really
American-
who they are, what their achievements are, and things like that. There's no really a fixed number. We'll just we have a committee, which is once we received all the applications and the deadline passed, we'll basically pick the teams and then decide who goes into the main tournament at the Global Challenge.
So could it happen that America only has 2 spots for the World Finals in the end? If they
Yes.
get stolen all the
Sure.
spots at the
Yes,
Global
that can
Challenges?
happen.
Okay, so well, let's see if the American teams manage to fight well and maybe get some more spots at the.
I'm sure these
At the
guys are
finals.
really, really eager. I mean, they've been lacking 1.6 competition for so long, and now they're really, really back on track and trying to do their best and try to compete with all the top teams from all over the world. So I'm really sure they are very, very motivated.
Okay, I think as well motivated are the WoW teams. We're very much looking forward to the World of Warcraft tournaments as well. I think at E4All it will be a very interesting tournament. Also the other ones, we do have a very strong American scene.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think about the groups and all that stuff, that's going to follow later, as we do
Right.
have a ladder at the moment.
Right.
Okay, and we will hear more about that, of course, in future. Thank you, Nina, for being here. Thank you, Bashi, for giving us all the insight on the Intel Extreme Masters.
Thank you very much for
And
hosting us.
I hope you enjoyed the group drawing. I hope all your favorite teams are the groups you wanted them to be in. Have a good night and stay tuned for the Intel Extreme Masters. Bye.